Alors, ladies and gentlemen, messieurs et mesdames, on m'a dit que c'est en anglais ce soir. Alors, bienvenue à nos invités francophones. But I'm going to speak in English because it's easier. I'm Peter Ricketts, I'm the ambassador here, and I welcome everybody here. It's great to see you all here. I'm speaking in English partly because I spent an earlier part of today listening to Boris Johnson addressing a large lunch here in French, which he himself described as barbaric. Actually, he wasn't that bad, and he fairly quickly switched into English as well, but reminded me of the perils. This is great to see everybody here. I think I owe a lot to Mr. Sibiet from Franco-British Connections for having been the inspirer of this evening, because when he explained to me the project to have this finance summit, to have students from the UK come over and meet ESSEC and discuss finance and cultures and stereotypes and caricatures and all that, I thought it would be a very good idea to join together and offer you an hour in this extraordinary house, which is itself a symbol in a way of la coopération franco-britannique, souvent l'entente franco-britannique, because it was the house of Pauline Borghese. It was sold by her to the Duke of Wellington in 1814, and we will celebrate 200 years of this house being British next year. And we're beginning to develop plans for that. So wander around and take the chance to have a look. All the furniture that you'll see in the rooms here are Pauline's, and the bed is Pauline's, and so she is still very much in this house. And it stands as a symbol of our cooperation, and French people love to come here. And it's great to see it full of young people. With apologies to the distinguished professor here, who is indeed himself once private secretary to the ambassador in Paris. There are too many men over 60, like myself here, too often, and too few people under 30, 35 like you. And it's one of my missions is to try to get more young people into this house. I'm delighted that the UK contingent have come. I hope the program has been useful to you. I see you've been doing all sorts of exciting things, but hard to work out from the program exactly what, except that I see tonight is 10 o'clock till 3 a.m., the soirée prestige, and then I look over the page and it says Saturday morning free, which is probably just as well, actually. But I hope it has been useful. I mean, I'm very, very struck here, coming back to Paris, having been here 15 years ago, actually how little has changed in some of the underlying assumptions on the two sides. And here I'm on the territory of Howard and other experts in the room. But the fundamental difference, structural difference between us, that France decided to go into the euro and that Britain did not, is something that has structural implications across a very wide range of issues that you would have been talking about. Some of the underlying assumptions about world trade and open markets and the value of free trade agreements as against the state protecting its citizens and Europe protecting the countries of Europe against the forces of globalization. Those are some quite profound differences, I find, in the cultures of the two countries and keep propping up across a whole range of policy areas as well. So I think it'll be very interesting for you to dig down into the assumptions underneath the specific ideas of each side and to see how everybody is thinking. Maybe in your generation, all these differences will disappear, but I suspect not, actually, because they are quite deep-seated. And the approach of the two governments to economic policy is pretty different, and it's interesting to discuss why. So I'm sure that it will be a valuable opportunity. It's great to have you here. Congratulations to Franco-British Connections for putting this together and making it happen. I'm now going to stop because there are more interesting people to listen to than me. I think David Val from Franco-British Connections is next up, and then we look forward to hearing Howard Davis. Thanks very much, everybody, and warm welcome.
I was just going to say that.
All right. I think that's it. Thank you very, very much indeed, Howard. That was fantastic. I've now heard two speeches today, both very brilliant, about the differences and the similarities between Britain and France in finance and economics. Different styles, Howard, magisterial, thank you. Boris Johnson, a little bit more anecdotal, but just staying on the right side of the line, I think, in terms of trop de taquinerie vis-à-vis des Français. He did develop the interesting argument that Londres, c'est un atout pour nous tous. It is the financial centre of Europe. And he produced some figures, some of which we helped him to find, showing some large French corporations raising a lot of money in the City of London because that's the easiest place for them to come. And then some of them, of course, reinvesting it in investments in Britain. And he brought with him a model corgi red bus to illustrate the point that if you get on a London United bus, it's actually run by RATP. If you turn on the electricity with British Energy, it is of course EDF standing behind it, and many other examples. So French companies come to raise money in the City of London to then plough back into investment in the UK, and there is something there which is about cooperation between the two countries. Thank you very, very much indeed, Howard. I think that's it for speechifying. Please have a glass of this much vaunted bubbly, and enjoy the house, and have a very good rest of the weekend.